Right, so we already know Uti Chiefs has signed Uti Tlokwe on a pre-contract who's going to join Chiefs beginning of next season, but we still need more because Uhlanti, we know Uti contract yake has not been renewed yet, and according to transfer market it's ending beginning of July. So basically that means Uhlanti might be leaving Chiefs, so that's another opening. So it's natural to think Chiefs will sign someone, and I know people are thinking, but we need a defensive midfielder, but our defense is also falling apart. So you will need to reinforce that area as well. But who's on the list? Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Kosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo. I'm your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs and Kosi Football Club. And in this video, we are looking at 4 players who are linked with the Chiefs, and we're going to see Uguti which one is a possible transfer, because some names are just thrown out there, but if you look at it closely, you can see Uguti Nafem. This is not going to happen. Now, let's start with Maurizio Macorig, right? I made a full video about this guy. So Maurizio Macorig is an Italian player who's currently playing in the German 5th division. Like, we have Bundesliga, you have the second tier after Bundesliga, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. That's how low he's playing. But he did come to have trials with the Chiefs in December, and ever since, the Chiefs has not contacted him. Now, I know people will say, but Impilo, it's clear Uguti is not coming back because obviously this guy is not good enough for Chiefs, blah, 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 whatever. But the thing is, Chiefs will get desperate. And as they did with Caleb, they were not planning to sign Caleb, but then they saw they were not finding another striker, and eventually they went back to him. So, with that being said, I think there's a big possibility Oguti Chiefs might get desperate and go back to that player because they've already kind of started talking to him, and they just got to a place where they were like, no, we're not continuing this conversation. But there's no saying they can't resume the conversation and start afresh again. So he's 25, and the other advantage that he comes with is the fact that he can also play as a defensive midfielder. So you have a player who is a makeshift defensive midfielder but can also play as a center back. On top of that, I looked at his stats: 71 games, 12 goals, and 4 assists. Now someone's going to say, Aibo Wempilo, we're talking about a defender. Why are we talking about some stats at defender? I'm saying that because if a defender can chip in goals here and there, it's also important. I know, Guti, those are not the most important stats of a defender, but I'm just saying, Guti, if they are there, they are there. The concern, though, is that he's playing in the 5th division of Germany. But then someone will say, it's South African football, it's German football, so vele ama levels are funny. You'll find, Guti, a team that is playing in English 2nd division is way better, like miles ahead of the Chiefs. So that's what I'm saying. Uguti, stadiums on the 3rd division in England get filled week in, week out, but our Premier League does not get filled in, so we can't just use that as well. Moving on to the second person, but before we move on to the second person, please do like the video. The second person is Ukivin Msimango, and in the Kivin Msimango is just like this dream that we have as Kaizer Chiefs fans, because Utim Sugazi last season, it was clear Uguti he was open to selling the player to anyone who would have come with the money, but the Chiefs did not come with the money, and then he ended up extending a contract Kamsimang. I don't know by how long. Transfer market does not even tell us how long the contract was extended by, but we do know Uguti he's now tied down to a longer contract, because Tim Sugazi knows Uguti Msimango is like entering his prime now, and in him entering his prime, price is also the highest. So now a team that wants to give him Msimango will have to pay real money, and the Chiefs does not do that. So I just have to address this and just put it to bed, Uguti. I don't see this happening, right? I just don't see this happening, because Kevin Msimango is tied down to a long-term contract, and Chiefs will have to pay. And we know how Chiefs is when it comes to paying transfer fees. It's not happening. Let's just forget it, guys. Ne? Well, then it brings us to Udenis Nya. Udenis Nya, right? So We were talking about him on a live stream a few days ago, and he's this defender who is also a center back, right? And yeah, now he's from Nigeria. Yes, I think I'm correct by saying that. Yes, he's from Nigeria, and right now he's currently playing for Zesco United. Zesco United, the same team that sold us Ukambole and our defensive midfielder Anthony Akai. Now, there is a thing, Yoguti, when I watched his highlights, which I always say may not be the greatest of ideas, but when I did watch his highlights, he looks like a player who's comfortable on the ball. He looks like a player who plays out from the back. He looks like a player who's composed when it comes to dealing with one-on-one situations. So, if the price is right, and I think Chiefs can afford him because he's from Zesco and we have some kind of a relationship with him, Chiefs might sign him. The question is, we have one foreigner spot remaining with Kaizer Chiefs. Will they take that spot and give it to a defender? Or will they keep that and try to sign a defensive midfielder? Because we'll talk about a defensive midfielder in another video. If you sign him, then basically you are saying we no longer have another foreigner spot. If I'm wrong, I will make a correction go live stream. But as far as I know, the foreigners that we have, Utitlokwe is from Botswana, right? Or he's a foreigner, let me say that. I think it's Botswana, yeah. And then we also have Ukaleb, we have Usail, we have Indabaga Dove as well. Udove Naege, people are saying different stories. Since he has played so long, maybe he's going to get citizenship. So there could be a possibility to come as living and it doesn't count Vel, which means we have one spot Vel, not because it's vacated by Cam, but because we have Titlokwe, Dove, Caleb, and Sahil, 4 foreigners in our team already. So there's only one player who can be added. So will they risk it on Tennisnya? I don't know, because this also depends on other positions that they want to sign. If they think there's another player who's a foreigner that they can sign into a certain position, then by all means they should do that. On another hand, they could just release Upemenyimana, open up a space and sign another player. But the problem is, will Chiefs want to do that? Will Chiefs want to open up a space for Caleb, especially since they just signed him last season? And by releasing him, they are basically saying we are having to pay this guy a lot of money. And as I said, I don't think Chiefs will release Ukaleb because of the fact that Ukaleb seems to be trusted by Uzwane, which I don't know where he's getting that from. So we have Utitlokwe, it's confirmed. Maurizio Macorig trialed and left the Chiefs. We have given him Simango not happening. Dennis Nya might be happening. I don't know. Which of these signings you think is possible? Let me know down on the comment section below. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. And until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoy.